Сейчас эта книга забыта. So I finished the Russian Duolingo course, and it's actually good. As you can see right here, I am completely done with every single thing. Now, there are some units that I need to get legendary to, but that's basically just nothing but review. But I'm done with the Duolingo course. Now, this isn't a video of me showcasing how much Russian I know in general. No, that video is gonna come a bit later, probably like I would say 3 months from now. I don't know. However, I will say this. You all know, many of you know that I've been saying that I've been teaching myself Russian, and I've been saying this for the past like year, ever since I've had this channel actually. How close am I to speaking Russian? Actually quite close, very close. And Duolingo is a big part of that help, actually. Do I use other resources? Yes. I'm just simply showcasing Duolingo today. And this video is going to be purely about Duolingo for those who are wondering if you should waste your time on Duolingo. Okay? This is not me saying that, oh, I'm going to speak Russian, blah, 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 blah. Not yet. Not yet. I will tell you, yes, I am advanced A2. I am advanced A2, and a lot of that is thanks to Duolingo. I will say that. However, I still would go as far as to say that I can speak Russian. Although I am very close to B1. Extremely close. Closer than you think. So, many people have this misconception about Duolingo, that Duolingo is completely useless for Russian, and Duolingo doesn't really teach you anything good at all. First of all, if I go and I click right here, Duolingo has explanations, guys, right here, as you can see. Now, the explanations aren't really like superb, but if you're an absolute beginner, okay, like I was when I started using Duolingo, Duolingo can actually give you a way to enter into the language comfortably. Okay? Even with these very mild explanations, can it be better? Yes. Does it help you if you're an absolute beginner though? Yes. So no, Duolingo is not useless when it comes to that. Number one. Number two, people say the phrases that Duolingo teach is useless, and that's just not wrong, guys. We're gonna go and show you some phrases right now. If I go to section 4, we're just gonna go and talk about I don't know. Let's talk about history, because this channel is about history, right? Let's go review a lesson about history. Because again, this is a useful phrase. Let's do it. Just to show you guys.
Армия королевы приближается.
Alright, I had to pause the video because you guys couldn't hear the audio. But Armia королева приближается. Right? The Queen's army is approaching. Again, this is a very useful phrase because, I mean, I talk about history so much
Король.
on this channel. But
Они умели ездить верхом и стрелять из лука.
Они умели ездить верхом и стрелять из лука. Now, I will tell you this right now, okay? Duolingo is absolutely horrible for audio. It's absolutely horrible. It's just apps. Don't even bother with the audio part. It's absolutely horrible. Go find a tutor. Go find a different source for that. I will tell you that. Okay?
Рыцарь.
But you might be saying...
Это пещера дракона.
Это пещера дракона. Yeah, this is what I mean right here, right? It didn't detect that, even though that was very clear. Это пещера дракона. I'm stuttering a bit there. Maybe that's why. Это пещера дракона. Okay. Yeah, this is the Dragon's Cave. Now you might be saying, oh,
Королева.
well, I don't use this stuff. I don't have a channel about history. I don't like history. That's fine. That's perfectly fine. Let's go show you something else. This is verbal adjectives. And this is actually an advanced topic. Oh, right here. Right here, guys. Pay attention. Use verb forms to describe it now. This is actually an advanced concept in Russian, actually. And Duolingo actually teaches you that. Now, this is where I talk about the second thing that Duolingo is useful for. Duolingo is useful for making you get used to Russian early on and helping you get accustomed to Russian grammar, number one. Number two, it's great for practicing what you learned. Yes, Duolingo is excellent for practicing Russian grammar. Very excellent for practicing Russian grammar. Okay, so let's say, for instance, that you are learning grammar somewhere else and you just want to practice grammar. Duolingo is absolutely perfect for that. I use Duolingo for that all the time. Literally, I will probably say half the reason why I was able to, even though I'm still learning, but half the reason why I've adjusted to Russian grammar, a bit more than half of that reason why I was able to adjust to Russian grammar is because of Duolingo. Because of the amount of time I've spent just on Duolingo, constantly like drilling myself on this stuff that I learned from other sources. And believe me, I use a bunch of sources to learn Russian. I spend 5 hours a day, maybe a bit more than that, teaching myself Russian, guys. So yeah, let's review this.
Сейчас эта книга забыта.
Сейчас эта книга забыта. Now this book is forgotten. And this is another thing about Duolingo that I want to talk about. Duolingo is also excellent for like people will say the phrases suck. People are just simply looking at the words being used, but what people don't realize is instead of paying attention to the words, pay attention to how it's structured. Duolingo is quite good at making you getting used to how Russian is structured. Because sure, you might have a phrase like the monkey is eating something weird, or some, like, I don't know, the horse is, I don't know, I can't think of anything. I'm trying to think of some weird stuff that Duolingo have told people before. Let me think. The pony is eating a banana, or I don't know. The fact of the matter is, you might tell yourself, I'm not going to use pony. I'm not going to use pony anytime soon. This sounds useless. However, what you don't realize is instead of thinking, I'm not going to use that word pony, what you can think is, wait a minute, instead of saying pony, I can say, oh, my friend, or something more relevant, is eating something else that's much more relevant. You have that sentence structure in your head already if you practice long enough with Duolingo. As long as you are learning words in Russian, guys, your brain will just simply remove those unnecessary words, and depending on the context of whatever the hell you're trying to speak, because I don't know what you're going to try speaking, your brain will simply just replace those unnecessary words with more relevant words that you've already learned. I would hope so. So that's another thing that Duolingo is quite good at, that people just completely overlook, because people just see that Duolingo teaches some weird, funky words, and it's like, it's not about the words. It's about the structure that is teaching you, that it's trying to make your brain get used to. Okay, let's continue.
Этот рассказ был написан знаменитым писателем.
But I still want to show you guys that these phrases are actually useful, so I'm just going to go through some of this stuff here. I'm going to be a bit silent here because I need to focus.
Этот рассказ был написан знаменитым писателем. Был написан знаменитым писателем.
This story was written by a famous writer. Again, guys, very relevant sentence.
Мальчик, играющий на скрипке, мой сын.
Мальчик, играющий на скрипке, мой сын. The boy playing a violin is my son. Now, this is an example of what I mean here. This sentence sounds weird, right? You don't really know anyone who plays violin. Most of you, some of you probably do, but most of us, we don't. However, you can say like
Девочка, живущая тут, ходит в мою
I
школу.
accidentally pressed forward. But what I wanted to say is instead of thinking about a violin, just simply remove violin and put a more relevant word that you will talk about in the future. I don't know what you guys will talk about. Everyone is learning Russian for different reasons, so I can't really give you an example. You know what's relevant for you, okay? But anyways, let's continue. And this one right here is actually a much more better phrase. Anyways, девочка, живущая тут, ходит в мою школу.
Ты знаешь людей, живущих в этом доме. Ты знаешь людей, живущих в этом доме.
Again, very useful phrase here. Now, this is an advanced, this low-key intermediate, low advanced type of sentences here. Which is another good thing about Duolingo. If you use Duolingo properly, you will have a prelude to advanced concepts in Russian. It doesn't give you the full picture, but it will make it so that when you do touch those advanced concepts in Russian, your brain isn't just completely fried, right? Because the lesser advanced way that you can say this, I believe, is ты знаешь людей my grammatical endings might be wrong here, but just for the sake of the video, I'm just gonna say ты знаешь людей, которые живут в этом доме. I'm pretty sure I use the wrong grammatical endings. But that is a more lesser, a more actually commonly used way of speaking in Russian, actually. Than saying both ways is saying the same thing. English is the same way too. Actually, this is the same exact participles exist in English too. I'm gonna probably talk more about that in my future Russian when I talk about like how I taught myself Russian by myself. I don't really want to talk about that here. I just want to talk about Duolingo. But
Стадион построен 5 лет назад.
was built 5 years ago.
Мне не понравилась статья, написанная этим журналистом.
You see, and this is another thing about Duolingo that can be that they need to work on. I will say the English translations to Russian translation is like you can understand what they're saying, but like what I wrote here in English isn't even wrong. But Duolingo, it'll be like, no, you have to put it this way, or you're wrong. Case in point is Russian has a structured, fluid sentence structure, right? And whenever Duolingo's like, oh, I'm gonna show you guys this actually, what I mean.
Женщина, рисующая бабочку, моя жена.
I'm gonna show you guys what I mean by that right now. Discuss the internet. This is really relevant because we all use the internet, right? Let's do this, right?
Не знаю, почему, но эта картинка занимает много места.
Okay. Не знаю почему, но эта картинка занимает много места. I don't know why this picture takes up a lot of space. Okay, let's talk about pictures in your phone. Very relevant stuff here to all the people who think Duolingo is useless, guys. Let's continue and show you. Kupi no we. I never really pay attention to this. I think this is another thing that's completely pointless to Duolingo.
Мой дядя запустил нашу программу.
Мой дядя запустил нашу программу. Yeah, guys, very relevant.
У него такой блог. Ты можешь выйти в сеть?
Ты можешь выйти в сеть? I will say, the only thing that's really holding me back in Russian is the f sound that it's V. The English equivalent is V, but it has a like more of a f sound. It's like, how the hell do I pronounce this in words? Ты можешь выйти в сеть? Can you come online? Okay, guys, we're all online every day. We're gonna need this phrase. Again, just showing you guys that Duolingo is not useless at all.
У тип есть. Свой.
Do you have your own website? I think this is...
Сайт.
Yeah, okay.
Сколько ты заплатила за микрофон?
How much did you buy? How much did you pay for the microphone?
У этого сайта слишком сложные настройки. Сложные настройки.
Did I not hear that correctly?
У этого сайта слишком сложные настройки.
Oh, shit.
Сайта слишком сложные настройки.
Nice. Okay, the website settings are too complicated. And this is another thing with Duolingo too, guys. People will use Duolingo and they'll blow through it and they'll stop using it. Guys, the real trick with Duolingo is actually you want to review. That's where Duolingo is excellent, and that's where Duolingo will grossly improve your Russian skills. Because guys, there are times where I believe like, oh well, I've already done this concept, I don't need to do it again. But I'm like, no, let me just go review on Duolingo for an hour, and I realized like, oh wait a minute, oh I forgot this stuff here. Oh yeah, this was a good refresher, and it completely expands and refreshes my brain. Honestly, just doing that a lot has helped my Russian a lot. Okay, let's continue.
Ну, я не могу скачать текст.
Even as I am doing this right now, this is still refreshing my brain.
Мне нравится твой логин. Мне нравится логин.
Again, I like your username. We all have usernames, right?
Скопируй этот.
Okay, so this is where...
Себе этот фильм.
Okay, I didn't mark it wrong here, but sometimes where just the fact that Russia has a very fluid and not really rigid sentence structure, I will put words where it's still correct, but Duolingo will say like, no, this is wrong, and I'm like, no, this is right. You can say it like that. So yeah, that can happen.
Эта клавиша сломана.
No, my brain. No. This key is broken. Sorry, my brain had to think because I was thinking like key for a door. I'm like, what? And then I realized I meant it wasn't talking about that. It was talking like keys for laptops and computers.
Я не хотела стереть эту картинку. Хотела. Стереть эту станции. Картинку.
Yeah, I did not want to delete this picture. And yeah, guys, I have Duolingo Super 2 as well. And yeah, would you look at that? My day streak continues. Yeah. That's the internet. We're gonna go on more beginner stuff because you guys are more like beginner type of people. As you can see, I've done a lot of legendary stuff here. I would assume that you guys can at least reach, let me go to section 1. I don't know where you guys are at on your Russian journey in Duolingo, but we're going to go to section 2. You guys can reach section 2 without giving up, because you might be saying, oh, well, you're so deep in the course. You're so deep in the course. And yeah, it did take me a bit to get there. Honestly, I honestly forgot how long it took me to get to that point. I think I know it was sometime at the start of 2025. I was like, okay, this is taking too long. I need to actually like structure a way to do Duolingo properly. And it took like I think half a year for me to finally finish a course. And I finished a course like yesterday, guys. So yeah, it takes time. But it just became a habit of mine that I was just like, wow, okay. So let's see here. Thank people. Say where you are from. Talk about what people have. I want to name common animals. Discuss possessions. Let's do this. Let's do something a more like beginner.
Это наша кровать или ваша?
But more like, not kind of random. Это наша кровать или ваша? Is this our bed or yours?
Ваня, вот твое полотенце. Вот. Ваня, вот твое полотенце.
And guys, again, this is why Duolingo is so good for drilling yourself on Russian grammar. You might be saying, oh, well, I won't be using this term towel. Instead of thinking that way, what you can notice is, wait a minute, tvoi has changed. Tvoi has changed. Why did it change? This is for my more absolute beginner people here, because people who are using Duolingo are usually beginners. So what you can say is, oh, tvoi change based on the ending of that word. Now it's tvoyo, right? And this is some of the stuff that I just do. Pay attention to that. That's what you want to do, guys. Don't just always pay attention to the word. Just pay attention to the stuff that's changing based on context and whatnot. Let's continue. I'm going to show you more.
Извините, ваши дети уже здесь?
Извините, ваши дети уже здесь? Excuse me, are your children already here? Very good sentence. Very good sentence. You don't even have to, again, like what I said before. If you don't have children, right? Извините, ваши, right? Because this is plural. Again, pay attention to this stuff, guys. This is what Duolingo is good for. It's good for drilling Russian grammar and making it stick in your head. You just need to pay attention and keep noticing these patterns. Do you notice that Vasha?
Ваши.
Oh, it doesn't. It used to show like the nominative form, whatever. Well, singular form, really and truly. Notice how Vasha is now Vashi because DT, right? It's agreeing with children. Pay attention to this type of stuff, guys. So even if the words is a bit funky, the grammar logic stays the same. The grammar logic is still relevant. that you will use with actual relevant words anyhow. And this is another good thing about Duolingo, guys. Duolingo.
Ваш папа и ваша мама. Ваш папа и ваш мама. Я, ее. Где ее ребенок?
Duolingo is good for learning abstract vocabulary. If your goal is to be intermediate level, Duolingo is good for that. When you're at intermediate level, you can speak Russian comfortably. You're not fluent, but you can speak Russian comfortably. You can get your thoughts across. You can talk about abstract stuff. Okay, you're not just saying like beginner stuff. None of that. None of that, guys. And this is what Duolingo is actually quite good at for all the people who say, oh, Duolingo is so bad, blah, 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 blah.
Нет, это не ради.
And honestly, these words aren't even bad anyways. And this is like beginner stuff here.
Это не мама.
Их сестры пьют чай.
Wait, what? Oh my gosh. I understand this in Russian, but how it wants me to say it in English. Their sisters. Okay, whatever. Whatever. That's one of the annoying things about Duolingo, guys, is the way how it wants you to say something in English. It can like confuse my brain because my English and Russian brain can collide, and then I'm like, how do I type this out in English but I understand it in Russian, guys? But whatever.
Вот твое меню, а вот мое. Твое меню, а вот мое.
Again, guys, pay attention to that. Notice how moi is now moye. Again, Duolingo is great at helping you recognizing these patterns. And that's how you even learn Russian grammar in the first place, guys. It's all about pattern recognition. It's not about freaking sitting down and constantly studying endings, which should you do that? Yeah. But it's 90% pattern recognition, 10% actually studying. Okay? So,
Ребенок. Это наша книга.
Твоя книга. Их слово.
Это
where's... Oh.
не ваш гитара. Вот ваше молоко.
Again, notice how it's making you... It's forcing your brain to see, like, Vash. Notice how much Vash changed its ending based on whatever noun was in front of it, right? Guys, do that over time. I'm telling you. This will literally get your brain so accustomed to Russian grammar, you'll be shocked.
Вот ваше молоко.
And you know, it's funny because I heard Russian people say, like, whenever, like, not all Russian people, but like many Russian people will say, I can't explain why this ending goes here. I just know it does. Like, I heard one guy who was talking about how he was in class and he had a test on like case endings, and he said perfectly fine. He spoke Russian perfectly fine. He just automatically knew in like just in real life, just outside of an academic setting, in real life, he just knew 100% what to use. Perfectly fine. But when he sat down, he did the test in his Russian grammar class. This is a native Russian speaker in Russian school, by the way. He said he absolutely failed because he didn't know like what. But I've kind of like noticed that too. At first when I heard that story, I was like, how the hell is that even possible? I'm like, yeah, there's no way. I'm like, there's absolutely no way. But I've noticed that has been happening with me too as well, where if I speak, like my brain would just automatically just based on what I've learned thus to this point, my brain will automatically be like, okay, yeah, this goes here, that goes there. But then when I'm like sitting down and I'm like trying to learn Russian endings academically by using flashcards and all that jazz, I'm like getting everything wrong. And then when I see the correct answer, I'm like, no, I know this. I know this. Like if I had to put this in sentences, I would have literally put this perfectly fine. And this is all honestly mostly 90% because of Duolingo. Honestly, Duolingo has given my brain that privilege. Okay.
Их сестры пьют чай.
All right. We're gonna do like one more. Describe what you do. We're gonna do like one more from section 2. Well, we're gonna do one from section 3, one from section 2. This is the last one from section 2, and one from section 4. Then we're gonna end the video.
Ты понимаешь папу?
Ты понимаешь папу?
Редко.
Моя сестра не курит.
Моя сестра не курит.
Часто.
Ты еще куришь?
Ты еще куришь?
Я редко работаю.
Он много думает. Он думает.
Again, these.
Иван не
Okay,
понимает.
sorry, guys. My brain was like going full on automatic mode there. I forgot camera was on me. But yeah, okay. If you pay attention to these phrases here, Ivan does not understand.
Думаю, это не наше дело. Думаю, это не наше дело.
Okay.
Хлеб.
Ребенок, Россия.
Станция.
Час.
Ты.
Where's on?
Он. Ем. Нас. Видит. Еще не понимаю. Ничего. Еще не понимаю. Ваша сестра. Рис вас видит.
Again, all useful stuff. Again, if your goal is to speak Russian to an intermediate level or fluency, like you're gonna need this stuff anyways. And what is my goal in Russian? My goal in Russian is to reach C2, right? So I'm gonna be needing all of this stuff. Let's go to section 3. C2. Yes, guys, C2. Is it possible for me to reach C2? I believe so. I think I can teach myself probably all the way up to C1, honestly speaking. I actually have enough resources to get to B2 low. Maybe with the resources I have right now, probably I have enough to reach B2 plus, low C1. But I do intend on getting more resources in the future so that I can actually do reach C2. But anyways, let's see here. Unit 3, talk about what you're doing. Describe conversations. Talk about animals. Express how you feel. Use reflexive verbs. Get around town. Talk about, discuss career plans. I don't know. Express opinions. Oh, let's do that. You guys, everybody has opinions. Let's talk about that. Although all the stuff that I passed
Да,
here was
ты прав.
completely relevant. Completely relevant. So Да, ты прав.
Хватит.
Enough.
Я имею право здесь находиться.
Я имею право здесь находиться. I have the right to be here. Yeah. This is a more advanced, kind of intermediate level sentence here. Kind of. Although this is section 3, so yes.
Это был долгий день, и я очень устал. Долгий день, и я очень устал.
It was a long day, and I'm very tired. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, very relevant stuff here.
Во-первых, уже поздно.
Во-первых, уже поздно.
К сожалению, я не могу вам помочь.
Мы поблагодарили маму за обед.
Главное, что мы вместе. Мы вместе.
Again, guys, just pay attention to what it's translating.
Она совершенно права.
Неудивительно, что у него мало денег. Неудивительно, что у него мало денег.
В-третьих, Виктория уже знает.
Я хочу поблагодарить вас. Поблагодарить.
It's funny because that way wasn't wrong either, but it just sounds better in my brain to just say like put like was first and then put the action verb. I don't know, that's just what my brain is more accustomed to. Although you can say it either or, it doesn't really matter. What is this? My brain is really thinking here. But yeah, guys. Yeah, I just wanted to show you guys these phrases. All right, so let's go to section 4. So we could discuss travel. We could discuss outer space, but we could discuss the internet, which we've already done. We could talk about politics. Who doesn't love politics in Russia? Huh. So this is the last one we're gonna talk about.
Политика. Банан.
Молоко.
Мальчик.
Министр заявил, что население растет.
Министр заявил, что население растет.
Они давно уехали со своей родины. Они давно уехали со своей родины.
And they left their homeland a long time ago. Very relevant phrase.
По мнению оппозиции.
По мнению оппозиции. It's crazy how like half a year ago these sentences seemed so perplexing to me, but now I'm just like blowing through this like if it's nothing. Do I have a lot of work? Yes, guys, I have a lot of work. But honestly, the level that I'm at right now in Russian, I would say I know like 75 to 80% of the grammar. Maybe even low-key 90% of the grammar. But I know majority of Russian grammar at this point, like, or at least have seen some part of it. Most of what I'm doing right now is because I am advanced A2. I'm honestly just just getting exposure to sentences and reviewing what I've learned in the past so that it sticks in my head. I did say that I will be B1 at the end of 2025. I will be B1 at the end of 2025. And it's still like in that route. Like it's very much still on track. Shit. Okay, I'm like super tired. I'm like super sleepy. I think this is like enough of a good demonstration for you guys. Okay, so yeah, to all the people who say that Russian is terrible, that the Russian Duolingo course is terrible. My bad, guys. I'm like super sleepy right now. I mean, the Russian Duolingo course is terrible. No, it's not terrible. The Russian Duolingo course, without it, I honestly don't know how good my Russian would be, or how I would even get into Russian. Yeah, it helped me a lot. A big part of the reason why I'm advanced A2, literally like this close to becoming B1, is because of Duolingo. Like I'm very much closer, like super super close to just being able to speak Russian comfortably. Now I'm not showing you everything, guys, because believe me, I use a lot more sources. In fact, actually, after this video, I gotta go spend like a whole other hour on another source that I have that I use to teach myself Russian, because I still haven't done that today. Because I wanted to do this video first. But anyways, I hope you found that fun. To all my people who are learning Russian out there, don't give up. Just be patient.